You're listening to the Pace Radio Network here at paceradio.net.
The views expressed by the individuals during this broadcast are their own opinions, and they may not be the same as those of their group or other organizations they may be involved with.
All medical advice during our broadcast is not a medical opinion and should be checked with your medical physician.
I want to talk about news, don't want the drama. From no pretentious media Madonna. I found me a great ganja mama. Cannabis and coffee with some marijuana.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Cannabis and Coffee with me, Tamarijuana. It's Monday, July the 28th. Yeah, that is the 8th. God, where's the time go? It's been 8 weeks today since my dad passed away, and to be fair, I'm kind of coming out of the fog. Having you all, help me, support me along the way has been very, very helpful, and keeping distracted doing stuff like this, right, which is also very helpful, and the talks and all the stuff that I do, and I've been camping and doing stuff that I probably normally wouldn't have done. I've decided that life's too fucking short, and I'm not gonna not stop and take the picture, and I'm not gonna not go camping if I decide I'm gonna go. If I got the money to put food in that cooler, I'm gonna jump in my car and I'm gonna go. I'm not gonna stop and not smell the roses anymore because life's too fucking short. And we all have a purpose here. What the fuck it is, who knows? But apparently we're supposed to be here to struggle through, to muddle through, to keep doing what we're doing, or we wouldn't be here. So there's many of us that are put on this earth for a purpose. I don't believe in the spaghetti daddy in the sky. That's not where I'm coming from here. Even after my dad passing away, I have not seen God. Just saying. There's not change. That has not changed my perception on anything when it comes to any of that religious hokey pokey shit. So just saying, my spirituality has always been the same. I believe that when you pass on, you do go to a better place, or maybe you don't. Nobody's come back to tell me. Just saying. So we're just going to leave that there. But I think that if you're suffering and you're in pain, and I said this to my kids, don't keep me here. I believe the MAID program is probably something that is the best thing that's ever happened to Canadians. We are kinder to our pets. We'll watch our elderly struggle and suffer and pain and wither and keep pounding them full of all kinds of drugs just to keep them comfortable. Why should we have to keep them comfortable? Why should they have to be here? Because it makes us feel better if they don't want to be here. I know suicide's a big fucking nasty word that we don't want to talk about. I'm not talking about mental health where, people are struggling with depression. We're talking about physical pain, and we're talking about cancer. We're talking about terminal illness. We're talking about people's quality of life and deciding whether it's up to them, whether they should be able to stay or go. It's called dignity. And I think if our pets are suffering and we give them more dignity than we give ourselves. So this morning, again, this is a dear friend, and I've known Melissa for, I don't know, for 15 years now. We also are mutuals on the talk. She goes as Salty Your Mother. We don't really use our real names on there, but on here we do because we're patients helping patients, and we have nothing to hide. Our transparency is what has brought us to the points that we are in our lives now, where we don't give a fuck. Like, we just don't give a fuck. We're going to go into the social media. We're going to go into the media. We're going to tell our stories, and we're going to do it loud and proud, and we're not going to fucking care because we have nothing to lose. So this morning, again, I'm going to welcome Melissa Ellsworth, Salty Your Butter on TikTok, and we're going to hear a little more about the life and trials of this beautiful woman. Good morning, beautiful. How are you today?
Good morning. How are you? Or afternoon here, I should say.
It is afternoon your time, and it is afternoon here now too. It's just 12:04. We got over that hump, right? I'm managing, right? Like we all are on a daily. Like, we all, like I said, it's not so humid here. So I got up, only had to take my ADHD meds and my folic acids this morning. I didn't have to pop any gabapentin. I didn't have to do anything more. then a little bit of this. And that's the days that are good. What about you?
Um, I lost beans around the same time you lost your dad. And so this is the first time in 15 years I've been without a dog. So it's been difficult.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know that either, babe.
And but other than that, I've been doing my own thing as far as plants go. Um, I've been still fighting the fight with comp. Still in the house. The province has stepped in. Has
So
through.
let's go back. Let's go back because last time I had you on the show, you were still in the Airbnb.
Oh well, I was in the Airbnb, and then I ended up. They on April 28th, the date which is the day of mourning for injured workers
Right, because you were going to walk Nova
nationwide.
Scotia,
Yeah.
right? And then we couldn't get you there because, well, your health too,
Oh,
and it was
no.
the weather and everything else. It just wasn't happening. So,
With my osteoporosis, they were scared that my
well, that's
spine.
what I said to you. Like I said to you a couple times, like, are you sure you really want to fucking do this, lady?
Well,
Like
see,
your
that's
health,
what,
like, we
right?
love you and your gumption, but
And my mind is still like, but my mind is still 56, but my body's 86 because of all the things that were not
the lack and neglect of the care.
exactly. So when I think the last time they called me on the National Day of Mourning to tell me that because they wanted me to sign that waiver.
Yep.
That waiver, and I wanted to know who wrote that waiver. Did it come from legal department or did it come out of
Your
my
social
case manager?
your case manager, right?
Right. And I can never really get a straight answer. And then they were bouncing around three different. So I had three women from workers' comp, like legit ganging up on me. And now I'd like to add, I also have an additional diagnosis of complex PTSD from dealing with them separately. A standalone diagnosis on its own from dealing with their harassment and stuff. So I refused to sign the waiver because the waiver said that I wasn't signing under duress, and I said I am under duress.
Right.
This is
Why
duress.
would you sign anything under duress?
Yeah. So I refused it. I kept scratching out was not under duress. They wouldn't accept it. So with my last trip to Halifax, I had an appointment. They arranged the shuttle up. And when I got to the hotel, there was no hotel room for me to stay in.
I remember seeing that. What the heck? Like they book a shuttle, but they don't book you a room. But did they book you a shuttle to go home that night then too?
The next day,
So where were you supposed to stay on the shuttle?
the shuttle left.
I know, but like I said, like where
off
in
and
their mind, if they got you to there, they didn't go to the next point. Where were you supposed to stay? Like where was their lack in preparation for that?
they got me a shuttle from my home to the Lord Nelson Hotel,
But
where
nowhere.
I stayed before. But they didn't book the hotel, and I arrived on Sunday, so I couldn't get a hold of anybody at workers' compensation. So I went out in front and did a video saying like they booked the shuttle to come here and booked the shuttle to pick me up here, but didn't book a room. And then they said that I'm making them look bad. My social
No,
media.
they're doing a good enough job on their own.
Well, that's what I said. I said you guys you don't need my help. I'm just making it public, and they didn't like that. And
You have
then
every right to talk about your story in public.
exactly. So when I went up to Halifax, everything was in such a rush. I was just moved up back into the house. I had just lost beans. So I just grabbed an envelope off the top, and don't forget, I was moved into a rat or a mouse infested house.
I know. And they didn't fix the back step, put a gate, nothing. They just told you basically, here you go.
I was supposed to clean up all it was
How
on
are
a
you
bed.
supposed to clean up all that?
As an immunocompromised person, and disabled and all that. That's how they left me. And they knew, they were aware of that because I posted videos on YouTube that showed the conditions that they left me in, and they didn't like that either. And I said, well, that's what you did.
See, and that's the thing.
Now that,
A lot of
and
people
now that
don't
other
understand
people are
too.
seeing it, you're not liking it. So now, when I was leaving, because they wanted me to sign another waiver, because I said, who did the waiver? Was it actual a legal person, or is this something you made up in your head? And my case manager signed her name to it, and I said, perfect. So at least now I got a name of who wrote it, right? Because I was a federal corrections officer, which also meant I was a former peace officer. So I know what I'm talking about. So that's why I ask those little questions in between, and they answer, and I go, okay. And then I move on to a whole, because that one answer is more than enough information that I need. So when I grabbed said envelope off of the top shelf of the counter and just kind of fired it in my bag, because it was an overnight stay, and then with all the fiasco with the room and everything, by the time I got everything done, and I again scratched out, I am signing under duress. I scratched out not, and I had someone witness it, and I got my friend of mine to literally
They
drive me.
even have to have you sign something that says, I am signing not under duress,
Yeah,
screams you're signing under duress.
I know.
Why would anybody sign anything saying that they're not signing under duress unless they're making you sign something that says that? That
Exactly.
just screams fucking corruption right there.
Yeah. So I keep scratching out, I am not. So I keep, in the thing, it says, I am signing under duress. So I signed it, but I just said I'm signing under duress, so they wouldn't accept it. But I guess inside the envelope, there might, apparently, because there was a couple of pieces of feces, small mouse feces or rat feces or something, that I wasn't aware of, because I wouldn't have put in my suitcase if it was, for starters. And like, that place is armed with more cameras than probably most of the federal institutions in the country, because they have a big concrete barricade there now. Like that's how bad it is. So when as I sign the thing, because it's a one night thing, and I'm getting ready because I got to go back. I'm seeing my doctor at 10, and the shuttle's picking me up at 1 o'clock at the hotel. So I had this little bit of time to do this running around. So in my haste, I forgot to take the letter and stuff with me. So I had to go back to the hotel, get the letter, go back down. So as I'm putting everything in the envelope, I'm literally, it shows me walking through the parking lot, because they can check their cameras, and I told them to. It shows me walking up to the door, licking the envelope, closing it, and I walked in and I saw a mail slot, because it was the first time ever in a long time that I've ever seen the workers' comp parking lot full, because it's been empty mostly since COVID, because they've all been working from home.
Right.
Now they're all back there. So
Right.
I'm walking up, and I saw the mail slot, and I said, perfect. I don't got to deal with anybody. And I just slid it in and walked away.
Right.
So all of a sudden, I get this. First off, they started, please accept our apologies on the passing of Beans, which did not go over well. And
How did they know?
attached to that message.
How did they know about the dog? How did they know about Beans? Did you tell them, or how would they know?
Someone else told them, and my case manager someone else told them when she was sick, and my case manager said I should call her, and they said that's not a good idea. But that's how the message started. And attached to the message was a threatening letter, basically a conduct letter, about me intentionally putting mouse feces into the envelope. And then they accused me of, which is completely false, because I didn't even know it was there. My entire house is full of it, and it was full of it because it was left empty for a year, full of food and everything. And all the mouse and rats and stuff in the neighborhood that people were baiting, where were they coming? My house, because it was empty. So that's what I came back to. So
Trust
they
me,
accused
I know how that is. I know how it is when you move back into a house that's been sitting empty for 2
yeah,
years and it's full of
full
mice.
of, like, with food and everything in it that they were supposed to clear
There
out
was no
several
food in this
times.
house. Even with that, like it took me 2 years to get rid of them. That was with 4 cats and then Bates, and I barely like.
I could still hear them running around at night. But they accused me of intentionally putting in, and then they were saying about how the health and safety, about their employees and all that stuff. But
But
when I
it's okay for you to live in that.
when I mentioned to them that this is what I'm living in, I'm told, well, if I sign the waiver, then I wouldn't be living in this, which
No.
is kind of extortion. I felt like
Oh
saying,
my
"Who are you,
God.
Sopranos?" Like I'm waiting I'm waiting tomorrow to wake up tomorrow and find a horse head in my bed. No joke. So they accuse me of that, and then they accuse me of contacting an employee's former employer in another country somehow
What?
because I mentioned a high court decision from another country under our Commonwealth, which fits me to a T, which sunk the system in that country. And I've been talking about this since 2018, but people in Nova Scotia didn't really know anything about it. But one particular person came in, and once I mentioned it, they came from that country and they were well aware of it. So they were like, oh, no. So apparently I've been accused of a lot of things I didn't do. And I said I can give you my phone records, however you said I contacted them, or whatever you think I said I did. Let
How
me
about,
know.
how
I
about
can,
you
I
do this?
can.
How about you tell them? How about you call the RCMP and have them investigate me if you think you're
Well,
crazy?
here's the thing. Tomorrow on the way home, I'm going to stop at the RCMP station and I'm pressing charges because
They're harassing you.
it's harassment.
False
There's
accusations.
like
It's
unquote codes like 216, 217, 215. We're protected under being disabled. There's what I guess in layman's terms, which hastening someone's death.
yeah,
That's
that's
and
habeas corpus.
withholding necessaries. There's going to be a whole bunch of stuff. So yeah, that's where I'm.
So the province has stepped in though and helped you clean the house out, right? Like you're not living with mice and stuff
Well,
now.
what I am.
Still,
Well, no, I am. The province workers' comp refuses to discuss anything until I sign that waiver, and I'm not.
don't.
Nope. So what happened was I had to get community services involved, which then got the province involved, and now it's costing the taxpayers money. Which, and don't get me wrong, it's the girls are great. It's I didn't even know it existed, but that they shouldn't be paying to have this done because we had an agreement that after the renovations were done, they were going to have someone to come in to help me unpack and sort everything and get everything done. So if that agreement was made for when the renovations were done, why did they send me back in this situation?
Well, the house should have been fucking cleaned and stuff before you even came in. You're
Yeah, so
immunocompromised. If
there,
there was a situation like if and the workers weren't in there, the workers didn't see any mice. Nobody reported that they seen mice when they were in
oh,
there.
there's yeah.
So the workers' compensation was well aware that there was mice in that house prior to even moving back in there. Yet they did nothing
That's
to
why they're
fucking make
mad
sure.
and threatened to cut me off. And they're threatening to cut me off. And if they cut me off, what will happen?
You'll have no means of supporting yourself at all. And then you'd have to go to the Nova Scotia government and plead for fucking to live on that disability, which is fucking next to nothing, putting you in a worse situation, and you'd never be able to get out of the situation that you're in because then you'd be just dumped into worse poverty situation than you're already in as it is.
Yep.
Because let's face it, compensation is not anywhere close to what your wages were. Any disability is never like even when my husband had to take those 12 weeks off for surgery, his disability that we pay for, okay, like he has Canada Life benefits, but we pay for that out of his paycheck. It's not fucking free either. And the maximum he was getting, and he makes good money, he was getting $700 a week. Well, that doesn't even cover one truck payment. So $1,400 over 2 weeks, that's like less than $3,000 a month when he makes 5 times that a month, right? So when your bills match that, you sink awfully quickly. Like they give you no choice but to fall right into into poverty. It doesn't matter whether you make $60 an hour when you're working. When you hurt yourself or you can't go to work, even your compensation and your disability is nowhere near the money you were making. It's
No.
it's not even, I don't even know how it's right. Even if they put in a universal income benefit at $2,000 a month, nobody can afford to live on that. That's not enough for anybody to afford to live on anymore. Like that's not even people's rent anymore. My daughter pays $2,700 a month for a 1-bedroom apartment or 2-bedroom apartment in Calgary. $2,700 a month. The apartment that I rented when the kids were small was $450 a month for a 2-bedroom apartment. It's
Yeah.
$1,250 now. And that's in Lethbridge, okay? And even Lethbridge rent, which is bigger population than this place, has cheaper rent than this shithole town that I live in now. How can they do that? How can compensation or any of these disabilities expect disabled people to live on any of this amount of money? And then they financially abuse you if you're married, or you can't be married, you can't have a spouse, you can't have a partner, because if you do, then you get cut in half or you get no disability at all. So you're just,
The best part is that if you, because they cut you off at 65, right?
yeah, exactly,
And
that
say
too.
in my case, where I had no dependents, they take a certain percentage of our monthly thing and put it in when we turn 65, because at one point someone thought it was a little cruel to just cut people off and whatever, because what I have is not going to go away when I turn 65. If
No,
I even make
nobody's disability goes away when you're 65.
no.
Nothing.
So now we get this percentage, we get a payout, right? So, but if we don't live till we're 65 and we have no dependents, like it's like someone like me who has no dependents, they keep that money.
Oh yeah, of course.
So that's
So if you
insane.
don't have a will, the government will come and take your shit and your kids get nothing. So make sure you write a will.
Workers'
Somebody,
comp gets to keep that money.
yeah,
That
I know.
money goes right back in their coffer.
Well, this is the CPP paperwork for disability. And I have it all filled out, but I did it in pencil, like a dumbass, because I didn't want to make any mistakes. Not even thinking. But they want your kids' social insurance numbers. They want
They
all
want
that information. Why? Why do you need my kids' information? Like, I don't quite understand that. Oh my God, my husband's calling. Hang on a second. I don't know why he does this to me. He does this every show. Hello.
Hi.
I'm on air, babe. It's noon. Cannabis and coffee.
Oh shit. BC time. Sorry.
You do this every day, babes. Are you working?
Yeah, I'll be heading back to GP here today, I think, from FSJ.
Okay. I'll phone you after. Love you.
Okay, Rogers called.
Bye. That's the only reason why I phoned. It's because Rogers called. Well, of course they did. Anyways, because sometimes your bills just have to wait till payday, which is tomorrow. Fucking guy. He did this Wednesday night too. When I was on the air with Al. Every Wednesday for the last 12 years. Usually not Monday on my show, because usually Monday on my show he's working.
You know me with time zones. I'm like, what time is that my time? So
He's in Fort St. John, right? So he's like Pacific Standard Time right now. Normally we're on the same time zone. But I love him. But Jesus.
God, it was
like I said,
when
they
it
turned
oh
65.
realize, oh God, yeah.
But I mean, you turn 65 and they just would expect you to just hop out of your bed and start dancing.
No,
Woohoo! We're gonna do the jig. We're gonna get out and we're gonna get ourselves a brand new job. We're gonna start a brand new career at 65. Never mind the fact that and I don't dispute this a bit, and I know people are murmuring about this, but the life expectancy has now moved up to 108. Average life expectancy. Yeah. In Netherlands, Switzerland, and then because of our technology, our medical technology, and
over there, I can see it.
yeah,
Yeah,
but even here in Canada too, like our people are living. We got people in our whole folks' homes are 104, 105 years old. Not kidding you. So our life expectancy in Canada has increased as well. So why they're going to come up with the argument? They just raised the retirement age in the Netherlands and Finland to 70, because if you're living that long, you need to be able to still contribute so that you can still have money in your CPP leftovers, because you guys are living longer, right? So they've it's not like they're trying to penalize anybody or trying to make anybody work longer because they're trying to penalize people. They're trying to make sure that you have money in your retirement plan so you can still have money when you're 108.
Yeah,
and like I said, that's just so like I said, they've been doing these statistics, right? Data studies and all these things. And even in Canada, our life expectancy's gone from like 80 to 100. And like that's my mother's 80 years old. She's doing yoga and doing all these things. Like 80 years old back when we were kids was old. People were like, right? They weren't. Like my grandpa was like, my grandparents were in their 90s, mid 80s, but let's face it, life expectancy's really like changed because science, right? And we don't like, and again, we do have like assisted, made. We have all these things, but we also have like cancer treatments cancer's not a death sentence anymore.
No.
Even hepatitis C is curable now.
Yeah.
Even HIV is livable now. Even all these things that would have normally, given you a death sentence, people are living long lives from them, right? Medical technology. And I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm just saying it's reasonable for us to believe and understand that this is going to happen and not think of it as a punishment by our government. Oh, they just want to enslave us longer. No, you fuckers are living longer and you guys don't want money to live on until you're like, what do they just do? Okay, well, you're 65, your retirement your pension plan runs out when you're 85. So if you live to be 105, fucker, sucks to be you. You can go back to work at 85 then, right? So I understand it. Doesn't mean that anybody else is they're just gonna think it's the government overreach and penalizing us more, and they just want to enslave us more when they're not critically thinking the fact that we have longer life expectancies. Sure, some of us with chronic illness, some of us that suffer from these things aren't gonna have that thing, won't be living that long. No. But there are people that are healthy, our younger generations that will. Mm-hmm. And we have to think about our future generations, not just ourselves. And so many of these people that we have living around us these days only think about what's in front of them and themselves, right? We're going to have to take a quick break here in about 3 minutes, but we got 3 minutes. But yeah, it's just like incredible that we're living way longer, even though you and I are just like, fuck that. I actually, if I was healthy and my body didn't feel like crap, like I said, today, when I'm feeling good like I am today, yeah, I want to live to be 100. If I was feeling like I was the other day when I couldn't fucking move, my body felt like fucking garbage. No, I want to be, no. Don't even put me in a box, put me in a jar. I don't even want to be in a box.
Yeah.
So I have good days and bad days too, right?
And with me, it's the barometric pressure affects me, and I'm right on the East Coast. Like I couldn't be in the worst spot.
Yeah, well, that's the thing.
Even though it's a nice day outside, my brain feels like a pancake.
Oh yeah, and it's the same with I think that we're not used to having much humidity here, and there's been a lot more humidity here because we've had a lot more moisture this year than we've ever had before, and our forests are just soaking it all in, and they're just loving it, and it's just the trees and everything's so nice and green this year. It's incredible because it's the first time probably that I remember in at least 6 years, 7 years that we haven't had fires burning us down and being smoked in.
You guys really needed it.
Oh, and it's been raining it's been nice. And it's been cooler. It hasn't been it's been 30, but it hasn't been consistently 30, 32 degrees where it's so dried out that you can't even breathe either. But that's really affecting my my RA. It's making it so I'm swallowing a lot more. But hey there, Paul. I sent you a message last week trying to get your Addy because I didn't forget about your gift is they're sitting over there. So check your other inbox on Facebook, and I sent you a message. It's good to see you again. He's a friend from across the pond, my dear. Okay, we're going to take a quick 2-minute break. I got a dog. I'm going to go out a little early because I got a squeaking dog here that's got to go outside. And it's not my dog. It's my daughter's dog. It's the Chotch. When he starts squeaking, that means he needs to go. So we will take a quick 2-minute commercial break and be right back after I let the dog out. We'll be right back. Thank our sponsors that keep us going on here. And also thanks to Al and Al, our producers that keep the whole network going. We'll be right back after a quick commercial break. And now I got to find one. This was fun last time.
You're listening to the Pace Radio Network here at paceradio.net.
Camelford Lifestyle Shop, open Monday to Friday from 10 till 7 p.m. or by chance. Check out our flags, our t-shirts, plus our hats, and look of that supply of rolling papers, plus much more. We've got bongs and your favorite herbal vaporizers. Look at all the incense we have, as well as for those who collect knives, check out these knives in our collection. And while you're here, stop in to see Shay at the piercing room, where you can get poked by Shay. Daily deals, check them out. Campbellford Lifestyle Shop, 17 Bridge Street West, Campbellford, Ontario.
What do you find at paceradio.net? People advocating cannabis education.
Limestone City Hydroponics is Kingston, Ontario's hydroponics shop. Take your growing to the next level and create the optimal environment with a tent kit, or maximize your yield with an ebb and flow flood table kit. Either way, Limestone City Hydroponics has more sizes and options to fit your needs. Are you looking for the power of the sun that adapts to your budget? Then look no further, as they have professional grow lighting. They have indoor grow systems that are easy and cost effective, with many options to fit your living space and lifestyle. Cultivate your growing potential. We have everything you need to succeed. And if you can't make it to the store, they offer local delivery to the greater Kingston area. Remember, when you're looking for experts to help you grow, then look no further than the locally owned Limestone City Hydroponics, 105 Sunderland Drive in Kingston, Ontario. Call them at 613-548-0420.
Re-rolled Saturdays. Check it out. Nothing but non-stop cannabis and psychedelic programming. Find it at 420pace.ca. You're listening to the Pace Radio Network here at paceradio.net.
Hey there, we're back. Yeah, I wish I could grow in the UK too. Add me as a friend on this there poll. I guess my link to Cannabis and Coffee this morning isn't up either. It didn't work. I don't know what the heck happened there. I probably didn't. I'm not sure I can edit midstream either. I don't think I can. Oh, there, it's back up now. Oh, that was weird. Anyways, yeah, you can just add me as a friend, and then you should be able to see it. Or try sending me a message. Anyways, I've got to bring Melissa back up because apparently I was gapping there for a minute. I was like answering this poll, and he's like, I can't get into my inbox. I'm like, I sent him a message because last week I did a giveaway, and I had some stickers and stuff, and he's in the UK, and I wanted to send them to him. So we need to get an address to send it over the bond. Yeah. But so WCB has really dropped the ball for you. Never mind Nova Scotia Health. And so where we so yeah, no waiver signing, that's for fucking sure.
No.
So you had your infusions done last week, and then where what happened? Like, where are we at now?
The doctor that runs the infusion clinic is leaving August 29th. He's in the province.
Have you thought about leaving the province? Have you thought about having them relocate you? Have you thought about any of that?
I thought about it. I have a warmer climate for me would be like optimal, but
see, once you leave the province, then you're no longer the responsible. Yeah, you are. Yeah, you are, because Alvin Snee is out of a WCB out of Alberta, and they're still responsible no matter where he lives in Canada. So they wouldn't be they would still be responsible for you.
I don't know if they found me. I mean, they found me over a tub. Like I
don't know if they'd have to pay you monthly. I don't know how that would work.
I don't know either.
I would check into that though, and tell them like maybe you can arrange it. Maybe they'll pay you out so you can just like go.
No, I'm not past just selling the house, just getting rid of what I don't, literally like legit downsizing to what I don't need, and selling the house, and just like last night at 1 o'clock I was looking at condos and gated communities in Jamaica. No joke.
No jokes. I got a friend that said fuck it too, and she fucking she didn't sell her place in Alberta because the market there is not so great, and she didn't want to, like, in her house, like her place is outright paid for, and she doesn't want to lose her whole investment on it. So she rented her place out to her friend, I think, and she moved to Mexico. Like she just outright just said, "Fuck it, I am done with the weather, with everything," and she's just living her best life down there.
I've
And
got no
then,
kids.
you know,
Like I've got no kids. I got no dogs now. There's nothing keeping me here really. So there's what's the point really? Other than because I'm gonna. He referred me to a doctor in Halifax, which means I'm gonna have to start making trips to Halifax again. So I can get infusions in North Sydney, and it just everything's so. And it's no shade on, you know what I mean, like the clinics or anybody, a stat, like anything like that, because like they're strapped. Like they were
yeah.
trying to bring doctors in, doctors weren't allowed to come in. Like I don't understand it. Like, and then workers comp turns around and says that doctors now, and they pass it as law, doctors can now refuse to treat injured workers. They now have a right to refuse to take on an injured worker as a patient. They can refuse. They don't have to do paperwork, and if they do paperwork, they're not getting paid for it. They completely cut Doctors Nova Scotia out of it.
For compensation, who did that? The government, or the compensation?
Both, because
How the hell are they supposed to use then? Who's going to fill out the paperwork? Who's going to do the intake? Who's going to do any of that work if the doctors aren't doing it? I don't understand.
compensation.
Well, I know in Alberta, compensation has their own clinics and their own doctors, and they always send you to the Canadian Back Institute. It's the same thing here in British Columbia with Work Safe or whatever. They send you to the Canadian Back Institute, which is basically their contracted quackies that do all their paperwork and stuff for them. They've been doing that in Alberta and in British Columbia. I don't know. I can't say as I've had to deal with them myself personally because I've never been a compensation claim, but Alvin has been from the knee, like from before I met him, right? He hurt his knee at work, which they retrained him to get to the job that he now does, right? And then he he re-injured that knee when he was derricking up and down the stick with the motion because it was already injured from the first injury, and they had to do another surgery, microfracturing and stuff on it, which that didn't work. They put him on down to sedentary work where he couldn't go back to the patch. And then he had to fight with the doctor at the CBI saying, like, look, my family's starving. I can go stand drilling and all I'm doing is this. But they didn't even want him walking over uneven ground. That was the fucking restrictions I had him on. So that he couldn't even go back to his job. He had a job well testing for Nova, and WCB in Alberta fucked him out of that job. They told Nova not to hire him because they wouldn't cover him for WCB if they hired him. Like, they had to fight with him for 2 years in Alberta to get, because they sent him to a oil dispatching course. There's no such fucking thing, and told him that he could make $65,000 a year. No, nobody, you can't. A cab dispatcher makes minimum wage. I know, I did it. So I fought them for 2 years and got 2 years whatever for wages, but it wasn't even close to what he was fucking owed. Like, it was a $20,000 claim. It was like, for what? Anyways, like, and we still have a claim with them. And if he ever injures that knee, like when he's ready for that knee's done, he's gonna have to go back to Alberta, have the surgery done at their fucking CPI Institute, fucking wherever it is in Calgary, because that's where he's had his last surgeries done. And sure, they'll have to pay for gas and they'll have to pay for all that stuff, and they'll have to go, but he'll only get paid the wages that he was making when he injured his knee.
Yeah.
Or not the wages he's now making now, which is triple what he was making then, right? So. Or maybe they do have to pay him what he's making. I don't know. I have no idea. But again, we're not there yet. Like, his knee's bone on bone. It's been bone on bone for a long time. But as long as he's still walking with it, as long as he can still use it, they don't want to hear from him. They don't care. They know he's supposed to go back every 5 years to have it like rechecked for whatever disability. It's so many percentage of permanent disability. It's already been deemed a permanent disability, but they've already, and they don't bother. But they owe him like 90 some odd $1,000 for this knee, but haven't given us shit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It blows my mind. It literally blows my mind.
And every province is different because it's a province to province thing with WCB2, and there are private insurance companies covering this. It's not a government entity. Everybody always thinks it's government. It's not. WCB is a private insurance company with their own lawyers and their own shit show.
but they're protected by the government because they're a government cash cow.
I wouldn't say so much that they're protected by the government per se. They're protected by fucking their own legal teams, and the government doesn't have the fucking backing to fight them. But I find that some of the mediators that they pay themselves do a better job keeping them in fucking tow. Because if it wasn't for the mediator in Alberta that we had, we wouldn't have gotten shit.
Well, I find it funny that it's like, say if I have a tribunal and I lose it, then because I've won 12 out of 13 already. But say if my next tribunal I lose it, if I go to take that to appeals court, the people that are going to be representing comp are going to could be the same commissioner that denied it in the first place, because it's all the same people.
You can't get a lawyer to fight them, but there are certain. There's very few lawyers that will even touch them.
No, because it's all. Even if they dealt with something minuscule to deal with them, there's a conflict. And
like I said, it's like the whole system is rigged to have the same chiropractors, massage therapists, lawyers, all running along for, compensation as a big industry. Like, you know what I mean? Injuries are a big industry. Like the lawyers, the ambulance chasing lawyers, right down to the doctors, right? Like,
yeah, the province doesn't want, like, everything's so backed up. And they're saying, okay, now we're going to open up interprovincial trade for this and that and whatever. And that means like healthcare staff and everything else. But they don't want anyone else coming in that can look at something and go, hey, that's messed up. Like lawyers or anything like that, because some have tried to come into the province and were told no.
Hey!
So as far as interprovincial trade, it's like if you're a butcher, baker, candlestick maker, then we'll take you. But if you're someone who can come in and poke holes in our perfect Oz bubble, then no, we don't want you.
I'm sorry, we have a dog barking fast going on. And I think we have so many people that are here already, right? We're not talking about new immigrants. We're talking about people that have been living here for up to 10 years, can't get their paperwork through for nursing or whatever, doctors, whatever, which is BS, right? Whether they have to be upgraded, whatever the case may be. But again, like, we need to look at this as a bigger picture. Like I said, I wish that they would pull federal polls on education and healthcare. I wish they would pull all of that back away from the provinces and make it under a federal umbrella and have a huge federal ministry for those two entities only. And have disability in with healthcare. And that's Health Canada, disabilities, all under one umbrella, and take it away from the provinces, because the provinces because have been fucking up healthcare and fucking disability for fucking ever. Never mind curriculum for education.
Hold on one second.
Hold
on one second. I think my dad's here. Hello. Hold on one second. I'll be right back.
Go ahead. But healthcare, I'll say this, right out there, health or education. I mean, we have different curriculum in every province. So you go from British Columbia to Alberta to Saskatchewan. Every curriculum for education for elementary school, junior high school, is all different. I mean, it's got the same, like, reading, writing, and arithmetic, and social studies, but it's all got different curriculum. And at the end of the day, it's trying to leave, have a child move from one jurisdiction to another, even regionally, from different school boards. Like, is it the same? We need to make sure that it's the same curriculum across the board, and it's not. They're banning books in Alberta. They're taking certain curriculum out of sex education programs in Alberta. Like, it's just unbelievable. It is. Well, it looks like Saltier's gotta leave us for a minute, but that's okay. We will just but again, the education, if you have to go, it's okay. We can okay.
I'm good. I'm back. He called, and when I didn't answer, he just popped over just to check in to make sure everything's cool.
I gotcha.
Yeah. And he's on his way down to pick up some grub, so he asked me if I wanted anything.
Oh yeah.
It's hot
here. I've got my health program calling me again too. And I'm like, I told you guys I'm busy. Like, they got an hour difference, right, between Pacific Standard. So it's 12:45 here. So it's just about 11:45 there, right? And I keep telling them, like, I'm not available. I'm not available at that time. Like, change my days, or I'm sorry, I'm not available, right? Anyway, but yeah, it's good that your dad checks up on you like that too. Yeah,
every day. Sometimes 2 or 3 times a day. Just
yeah,
pops in just to check, say hey.
yeah,
So
which is nice. And they live close to you.
yes, yeah.
Yeah, that's nice. Yeah, my mom's 3 hours away, 3.5. I gotta jump in the car. But I was there. I went and spent another couple days with her last week, and I'll go out probably next week or the week after and spend a couple more days with her, and until the snow flies, and then I'll be kind of stuck here,
Yeah.
And I don't. It's not that I don't want her coming here. It's just there's so many dogs and stuff here. It's just and I really the upstairs. There's nowhere for anybody to stay, right now because the house is a mess. So it's not a mess. It is. I wouldn't want anybody staying in those rooms upstairs. I got wallpaper ripped off one. I gotta fix a crack in the wall and paint it, and I gotta do all this before I take pictures. It's no chain. So trying to get this mortgage through. My dad, non-title, so give me a bit more time, but they don't, like, everybody's saying, well, they don't care about what it looks like aesthetically. They just want to make sure that the structure is good. And I'm like, yeah, but I got a room upstairs. It's got a crack in the wall.
Yeah.
But we're also asking for money for rentals, so maybe I should just leave it and say, like, this is the reason why we need the money for rentals. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know what to do.
It's hard. It's overwhelming.
Because if it looks too good, they're not going to think we need too much money for rentals. And if it doesn't look good, then if we need more money, like, you know what I mean? I just, like I said, I don't know what to do. Anyways. But yeah, like, and cannabis too, like, again, like, compensation's still not fucking doing much with, helping you with any of that either. Like, they're just still
Well, they're
blocking
helping others. They're helping others, but for some reason, and others are using my win to back up their win, but for some reason, for me, no. So it almost appears personal too.
like, is there, so have you gone, like, you've already gone to the head of the head of the head of the monster. I'd go fucking out. I'd be asking for another caseworker again. I'd be fucking calling. That's me. I'd be saying, you know what? I'm on another caseworker. This bitch fucking wrote me off. I'm not signing this waiver under any circumstances. I want to talk to whoever's in charge.
I got a new case manager, and then she passed me off to another one because she couldn't. Because I signed up someone to speak on my behalf about the cannabis because they had one cannabis based on my win more than the 4 grams a day, more than the 9% THC.
Right.
So I wanted them, because I couldn't deal with that aspect of it, because that to me was like, I felt like I was beating my head against a wall. And it was just at the same time that I was being evicted from the Airbnb at the same time. So I couldn't deal with everything at one time. So I handed it off to this person and I said, you know this case manager, and they can't tell you that no, we don't cover that because they know that they do, kind of thing.
Right.
And once I did that, my case manager handed me off to somebody else. And that's who called me. And then at one point I had 4 of them, including the director, like harassing and ganging up. And then I get
like,
the letter
find
saying,
not one decent fucking competent fucking worker at that whole place. Like,
I have no idea, like, why. I think my first PTSD diagnosis was in 2010 by their own psychiatrist, and because it didn't fit their narrative, they ignored it. So my PTSD wasn't officially diagnosed until 2023. And then now I'm diagnosed with complex PTSD due to the harassment of workers' compensation on top of everything else. So what comp wants is, comp doesn't want doctors' opinions, and doctors are getting tired of them. I mean, you go to school for 12 years and you've got some pinhead telling you that no, you don't know what you're talking about. After a while, you get kind of tired of hearing that. So it can be stressful.
unless it's their doctors. Their doctors are saying that it's okay. But if
But
somebody else,
they have their doctors, and their doctors will agree. I had one of their doctors actually say that my PTSD was not from work, that none of my injuries were work related, denied everything. And then when I filed a complaint with the College of Physicians and Surgeons, the very next day, another medical advisor completely reversed that decision based on the same medical information. So I don't understand how that even makes sense.
it doesn't.
No, it doesn't.
It just all sounds political.
And when I ask the college says, well, they deal with contracted doctors and we have no control over contracted doctors. And I'm
A
like, well,
doctor's a fucking doctor. Well,
well,
contractor doctor, what does that mean?
I said, when I was a nurse for Capital Health, I was contracted through the Department of Justice to work as a nurse at the Burnside Jail. So even though I was working at the Burnside Jail Health Unit as a nurse, I was still tied to the legal obligations and everything, responsibilities of my licensure, of my nursing license. So just because I was working at a jail doesn't mean I could act however I felt like it. It followed me wherever I went, so it didn't make sense to me. So when I started asking too many questions, they shut me down. And now I'm being told that if I keep posting social media posts, they're going to cut me off. And I'm like, I'm posting the truth. Like everything I'm posting is the truth. So I don't understand why. And I can back it up. That's the crazy part, is that whatever I say, I can back up.
That's extortion.
It is.
That's outright extortion. That's them saying, if you don't shut up, we're going to take away your livelihood.
Yeah.
That's outright fucking extortion. That's blackmail.
That's why I'm making a pit stop tomorrow after my psychiatrist appointment, because I'm just going to.
Because like that's basically like censoring you. That's basically gagging you. Do you have a gag order? You've got nothing signed saying that you aren't able to speak about it. This is your fucking medical stuff. You're allowed to talk about your own story anywhere you fucking want to. You don't need their
that I'm making their organization look bad.
No, they are.
No, you're doing a fine job of that yourself. I'm just making it public.
Yeah. You didn't sign anything saying that you shouldn't.
No.
I don't see an NDR in you. Gag order? No. Did they pull you in front of a judge and a judge tell you had to shut the fuck up? No.
The last thing they want to do is drag me anywhere, because discovery on any level will be epic, and it won't be good for it. I'll be the only one that'll benefit out of all that.
Right. But again, like,
they'll
do
do me a favor.
they have anything stating that you have to shut up and basically then take away your livelihood?
Yeah.
You're entitled to that money because you've been injured at work.
I have it in writing, my social media posts, and that these are the measures that they can take, and that they can cut me off. I have it in writing. It's called a conduct letter.
Oh.
I'll send you a copy in message.
Did you sign anything saying that you had to be with any conduct when you first signed up? When you first signed for compensation, like, was there any forms that you signed with them? A hard time with that, with this whole conduct. As far as I know, you don't work for them.
Nor would I. Not even
again, like, why would your conduct have anything? Like, why would they have a say over your conduct?
It's opinion.
But again, why would they have any say over your conduct? You're not employed by them. You're not like, yeah, they pay you because you were hurt at work. That should have absolutely no conditions to it.
No. Because I'm speaking the truth.
This awfully fucking weird.
Because I'm speaking the truth. I can back it up, and it makes them look bad.
Have you thought about hiring a lawyer? Have you thought about talking to a lawyer?
I tried, but there's not many really. I reached out to a couple of cannabis lawyers, hadn't heard anything back. Like,
they're not going to be the ones you're going to want to talk to. You want to talk to a liability lawyer, or somebody that does defamation and slander cases, like one of those type of lawyers,
Yeah.
liability lawyer, um, and tell them.
Because Tamara, you know me, if I wanted to make a statement, I would have took one of those dead rats that I pulled out, dead rats that I pulled off that was
I
stuck
know,
on the kitchen floor,
but again, I
and
mean, like,
I
you
would have
don't
put
want to
that
do anything.
in
Yeah,
board.
I know, but you don't want to do it. But again, I would. I mean, I know this is a compensation thing, but this isn't a fight about your compensation.
No.
This is about them trying to extort you. This is about them trying to put you in a position where you can't live safely without feeling like you're at harm's way. You're not feeling safe. They're
Yeah.
threatening you.
Hmm.
They're extorting you, basically saying, if you don't sign this waiver, we're not going to help you. If you don't quit doing this, we're going to cut you off. I would like to see a lawyer go over any paper. Do you have your file any with you? Like, you've got your file from start to finish?
Some of it's packed up, but
Yeah.
thing is in my head,
Yeah.
and I have my phone on my phone. One of my phones is basically backlogged with medical reports. They don't have a leg to stand
Medical
on.
report so much. I want to make sure that you didn't sign something saying that you wouldn't
No, I didn't sign it. No.
because that would be the only thing if they've got something that you like when you like,
No, this is a new thing. This came in this is new. This was one of the new things that they sprung on us a couple of weeks ago.
Hmm.
I think I was the first one to ever get one.
Hmm.
I got mine the end
Contact
of June, and
contact letter, because you've been hurt at work now, all of a sudden you have to act a certain way.
well, I'm not allowed to get angry apparently, or I'm not allowed
Oh,
to.
I understand the whole abuse and all that kind of thing, yelling, screaming, fucking, no abusive language, tolerable kind of thing. But that's
Well, when you're provoked, and they intentionally provoke you, they know you have PTSD, and they intentionally provoke you until you go off and then go, ha ha. That's also a narcissist.
that's bullying.
It's a lot of things.
Yeah, they might not have the right people doing the right jobs, right?
The one I've got, she's had 3 different job titles since I've had her.
That was the thing with that whole thing. Like, they were always moving. Like, Alvin always had different people too. It was just kind of, yeah.
And they breached my medical confidentiality, so I'm just going to hand it over to the RCMP. Say, here,
Yeah.
you do it.
Well, yeah, they can't be doing that for, privacy breaches. And like I said, I would, we'll talk after we get off the air, which we're going to do here right away because we're out of time.
Wow.
So, yeah, it doesn't take long, right? At all.
No.
To whip through an hour, especially when there's so much to say and my mouth is still hanging open because every time I talk to you, it's just like another fucking thing on top of another thing. And it's like, yeah, we haven't gotten you through the fucking last 10 things. And then they're just adding more things to it. Like,
And that's
what?
the intent, right? It's just to overload me until I give up.
That's what they all do. That's what every insurance company does. It doesn't matter. They always do that. They want to make sure that people give up. They do. Even with this pile of papers here, they don't want me to fill that out. If did it matter? It was in pencil. Does it matter? Like, what, I'm going to hand it off to a worker and that you trust that signed a bondable thing. I don't have to worry about you changing it. It doesn't matter that it's in pencil, but apparently it does. So now I got to redo all of this. Yeah. It took me fucking how long to do that because of my ADHD? Weeks.
I know.
You know how it goes.
I know.
Disabilities in life, we all just have to struggle through with one foot in front of the other.
One day at a time.
So we're told.
Be good.
Well, thanks very much again for coming on and keeping us updated. We'll have to have you on again in a couple weeks and keep everybody updated because, like I said, if we don't keep squeaking this wheel, we're never going to get no grease.
No, and you know what? With the changes that come in, if they get away with what they get away with, then every injured worker in the province is going to end up just like me.
And across the country. If it starts filtering from one province, then it goes filters from the next province to the next province. Because if one sets get away with it, then the next set think they can too.
Yeah.
Right?
There's always a litmus test, right?
Yeah, it sure does.
Yeah.
That's what happened with their cannabis too, with their 3.5 grams to 5 grams limitations, because one ministry decided to take a look at it, and the rest all just followed along, right?
You got her.
Oh God, these. All right, well, thanks everybody for joining us today, and we'll be back next week, same time, same place on paceradio.net. Thanks again to Melissa Saltier Mutter for coming in and keeping us updated again. And you'll see me again live Wednesday night on Pace Radio on our Pace Radio show with me and Al, which is 6 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is 9 p.m. on the East Coast and 5 p.m. on the West Coast. So that is us for the 420 Pace Radio Project. You have a good week, and we'll see you again next week. Peace out, everybody. Now I got to push this button.
You're listening to the Pace Radio Network here at paceradio.net.
The opinions of the individuals during this broadcast are their own, and may not be the opinions of their group or other organizations they may be involved with. All medical advice during our broadcast is not a medical opinion and should be checked with your medical physician.
Enjoy the buzz of legalization with Campbellford Lifestyle Shop. From lights to plant nutrients, books, consumption accessories, and more, we've got all your basics to grow or consume cannabis. Visit our info center or take a look at our piercing services and body jewelry, now available in-store through Campbellford Lifestyle Shop, 17 Bridge Street West, Campbellford.
Limestone City Hydroponics is Kingston, Ontario's hydroponics shop. Take your growing to the next level and create the optimal environment with a tent kit, or maximize your yield with an ebb and flow flood table kit. Either way, Limestone City Hydroponics has more sizes and options to fit your needs. Are you looking for the power of the sun that adapts to your budget? Then look no further, as they have professional grow lighting. They have indoor grow systems that are easy and cost effective, with many options to fit your living space and lifestyle. Cultivate your growing potential. We have everything you need to succeed. And if you can't make it to the store, they offer local delivery to the greater Kingston area. Remember, when you're looking for experts to help you grow, then look no further than the locally owned Limestone City Hydroponics, 105 Sunderland Drive in Kingston, Ontario. Call them at 613-548-0420. We are people advocating cannabis education here at paceradio.net.